The 18 Strong Podcast, episode number 85.
Can you take in what I'm showing you, the shapes and the positions that myself or another one of our strength coach is showing you, and can you regurgitate those movement patterns? Because if you cannot, you're going to default to what you're showing me here.
Welcome to the 18 Strong Podcast, where you get direct access to the world's greatest experts on training harder, practicing smarter, and playing better golf. Now, here's your host, Jeff Pellizzero.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. This is Jeff Pellizzero. Hopefully, you have started getting a little bit of golf into your normal weekly routine or however often you get to play. I actually played my first 9 holes of golf this morning. It was kind of a debacle, had a little bit of an issue. I'm going to call out my buddy and partner here at 18 Strong, Ryan, for kind of leaving me high and dry. He was supposed to come and meet us to play 9 holes, early morning golf, but it was a little rainy yesterday, rainy last night, and I think he kind of assumed that we weren't playing. So we got to our tee time, and I had let Ryan borrow a couple of my clubs, and thus I showed up to the first tee without my clubs this week. So had a little talk with the ranger there. He was nice enough to let me go play at Ruth Park, which is a little muni course here in town, and I was playing with my buddy Dave Snodgrass, and Dave was kind enough to let me borrow most of his clubs. I kind of toted my driver around and just it felt like I was caddying for him all day long and borrowing a club here and there. But it was fun. It wasn't the greatest round of golf, I will tell you that. There's a lot of work to be done in my game, and hopefully you will have a better outing. You're a first-time outer if you've had a couple rounds under your belt. So get out there and enjoy it. We have a great guest on today. We've got Jason Lindsay from TOPTEAM Fitness Academy in Charlotte, North Carolina, and also from JWL Project 360, which Jason is going to expand on that a lot later. It's more of a consulting program that he does both with golfers, collegiate level, professional level, as well as business professionals. And a pretty unique business model that he has there. But Jason runs TOPTEAM Fitness Academy, where they work with high-level athletes. They work general public, but also, basically put together comprehensive programs, packages for the collegiate level golfer. They work a lot with UNC Charlotte and some other colleges around the area. Jason travels to work with some professional golfers as well. But the model that they have is really kind of a holistic approach where it's not just fitness or it's not just nutrition or chiropractic. It's a combination of all of those things. So we talk a lot about the team model and what they're doing there at TOPTEAM. And then, as I mentioned, his Project 360 is really pretty unique. I know we have a lot of fitness professionals and other, therapists or chiropractors that are listening to the show, and you may be interested a lot in this portion where Jason actually does a lot of mentoring and consulting and business coaching for professionals that are really looking to build up their golf fitness business or golf medical practice. He has one of the most profitable companies in the realm of golf fitness. He actually works with the Life Fitness company, which is a exercise equipment company. And so he kind of consults and works with them to help fitness professionals build their practices, go in, design business models, development plans, and figure out how to get into these different clubs and really maximize what they have to offer with the population that they have. So I know he has several locations, one in Trump National, one in TPC Piper Glen, and several others, and they're working on building a new facility. So Jason's got a ton of stuff going on, so it's a very great episode. I do want to say a quick thanks to our sponsor for the episode, which again is Super Speed Golf. If you don't know what Super Speed Golf is, it's one of the greatest tools that I've implemented into not only my personal training, but mainly with my clients, working on increasing swing speed, balance, control, and swing. I know Jason is a big fan of Super Speed Golf. I see a lot of his posts on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook of his college level players using the Super Speed golf clubs, as well as a lot of his other players. And, it's been shown that over the course of just a 6-week period, golfers are seeing upwards of 5% increase in their swing speed just by doing the protocols that are set forth by Super Speed Golf. So if you want to get your hands on a set of those or check them out, just go to 18strong.com/superspeed and you can check those out. And if you are interested in getting some, use the code 18strong. You'll get a 10% discount, which everybody loves, saving a little bit of money. Also, last note of business, we do have our 18 Strong shirts on the website, available for sale. I keep forgetting to mention this on the show, and I know I've put it out in an email to everybody that's on our list, but if you just go to 18strong.com, you'll see the t-shirt in the right-hand side. So if you want to get your hands on, same shirt that all the guests are wearing. I know you've seen Jordan Spieth wearing it in his workouts once or twice, so it's the most comfortable shirt I own. I put it in my recycle all the time. I wear it a couple times a week just because it is the greatest shirt that I have. So had to throw that out there too. All right, without further ado, we've got Jason Lindsay on the podcast. Let's bring him in. Jason, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Jeff, how are you? Good to be here.
I'm great. It's great to have you. We've been chatting for a little while. Finally got a chance to sit down. I know you're a busy man there with TOPTEAM Fitness, the JWL Project 360. Got so many things going on, man.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, but it's all good. It's all good. We love what we do, and I think we're creating a really good environment for our players and all of our clients and patients. So they come in, they don't want to leave. So finding the extra time is a little tough, but we love having everybody in and creating that environment.
That's cool, having that community aspect too. You know, not just a fitness center or golf performance center, but having everybody kind of feel like they're a family too. That's a big component. So let me have you. I gave a little intro on you at the beginning of the show, and so I want you to kind of just expand a little bit on what is TOPTEAM Fitness and what do you guys do there?
Sure. So TOPTEAM Fitness started basically as a training company, and we started working personal training, and then I got into, when I was at UNC Charlotte, finishing my kinesiology and then my biomechanics degree, I started interning with all these different athletic teams, and I played athletics all coming up or growing up, and so I wanted to get into the athletic field and get into the sports performance realm. So TOPTEAM Fitness is going to be rebranded over the next year into TOPTEAM Sports Performance as we open our new facility in July 2016. But it started at looking at every aspect that an athlete needed to be successful and be managed. So we have strength coaches, a chiropractor, we have ART, acupuncture, Graston therapies, we have personal trainers, we have sports nutritionists, yoga instructors, swing coaches, all these people that work as one cohesive unit. So if an athlete comes in, we can really handle everything in-house where we can maximize our communication. All we really care about is that athlete, that when they come in, going through that goal list, did we accomplish what we set out to accomplish? And that is the bottom line when you walk in the door of the company is, can we get to those goals? How long is it going to take? And which of our professionals do they need to see to get there?
Nice. So you said growing up you played a lot of sports. Let's get a little bit of background on you personally, and then we'll
Sure.
dig into some of this stuff a little bit more. But where did you grow up, and what sports did you play?
So I grew up in Southern California, where I played baseball, basketball, football. I didn't get into golf, which now I look back and I'm like, dang, I wish I would have played golf because I really, really love the sport.
Same.
But yeah, I know, isn't it crazy? You look back and you're like, dang, I wish I would have played that.
Especially growing up in SoCal, man. You had the weather there for you too.
I know, it had the weather. Whenever we had free time, we were in the water, we were surfing. That's one of the things I really, really miss. But anyways, played all that growing up. Came out here to go to school. Went through the kinesiology program, which is a great program here at UNC Charlotte. I was an intern when I was there as a senior. Now we have, last year we had a graduate assistant helping us out. So we're an official internship site for the college. Right now we have an intern who is a senior and graduating in May, and we just offered a position too. And I just really, really love, and I love that program and being an alum there. But anyways, I got my certification from American College of Sports Medicine, and got hooked up with TPI and Life Fitness. And so I have several certifications with TPI. I did the first mentorship with Jason Glass, and what an experience that was. And he is a mentor of mine, and I really look up to Jay. And that was something that was very, very beneficial for my business. And just me as someone that works with the Rotary athlete, I did an Olympic lifting coach with Robert Yang, which was a great course. So I'm a certified Olympic lifting coach as well. And then I do some work with Life Fitness and Hammer Strength, and I'm an ambassador for them. So I do some modeling for them and looking at correct technique and form and biomechanics for some of their shoots and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I am and what got me to here. I also did a presentation in 2014 and 2015 at the PGA show on the Fit to Win stage with Life Fitness, as we talked about how do you start a successful business as a fitness professional inside the country club, and then also talking about how do you increase revenue if you have a fitness or a golf specific business, and make that successful. So that's kind of how I got here.
Awesome, man. Like I said, lots of great things, and we're definitely going to touch on the business side of it too, as part of Project 360, because I know that there's a lot of fitness professionals listening to the show that their ears just kind of perked up when they heard you talking about, getting in the clubs and increasing revenue that way. You talked about, going through the Jason Glass mentorship, and I think it's so important that we all have people that we look to and reach out to and learn from. And Jason's been a good friend and mentor of mine as well. And I haven't had the chance to go up and do the mentorship with the Glass Lab, but I know several guys that have gone through that, and girls, and have all spoke very highly of it. This kind of leads me into a question that I've been asking a lot lately from our guests. Is there, and you can't say Jason Glass this time, but is there a person or an experience or maybe even a book that you feel has really influenced you in, just kind of the direction you've taken in your life and where you are today?
The first time when I went to TPI Level 1, and I don't want to get all on the TPI thing and get stuck on it here, but, when I met Dr. Greg Rose and listened to Greg talk about what he did and how he, he tells that one story about he wanted to and he enjoyed working with golfers on the professional side and on the performance side. So he opened up his chiropractic clinic based on, hey, we're the golf specialists. And, when I left there and I was like, okay, well, there is this market for this niche. And if we really specify on that Rotary athlete or on that golfer, it's okay. We're not narrowing our spectrum too much, and so we really focused. When I came back from that, I guess that was probably maybe 5 years ago. My company is going to be 8, or TOPTEAM Fitness is going to be 8 in August. So it was probably about 5 years ago we came back and said, as a community inside the company, let's really focus on that golfer. And so we changed kind of our branding and our marketing. And I think that really opened up my eyes to let's do what we think we're really proficient at, and everything else will kind of fall in place.
That's awesome. And if you enjoy it, like it sounds like you do, you love golf, you love working with the golfer. If it's something that you enjoy, it's bound to be successful. You've already, you got the skills, you've been doing it successfully, and then to jump into a niche that you love, you can't go wrong.
Oh, absolutely. We get all kinds of fired up, and like I said, it started with really focusing on the golfer, but now we have, with UNC Charlotte, we see all of the athletic teams. So I do the strength coaching for the golf team, and last year we were at the national championship and coming from UNC Charlotte, that was a big deal for us. And we have some of the other colleges in the area. We work with their golf teams, but our chiropractic and our ART therapists and all that, we work with all of the athletic teams over at Charlotte. And if there is a movement issue, they can come in here and we can look at those corrections. And now we're working with all these athletes. And so it's kind of getting into that golf and specifying, hey, we're the Rotary specialists, and then that word of mouth and that spreading to, hey, these guys know what they're talking about for all Rotary athletes. We have one that kind of falls maybe outside of what people would think in the spectrum, but we work with some of the NASCAR teams and some of the guys from the pit crew, how they move around the car and move and carry 35-pound jacks at high speeds and how they have to generate, footwork and rotation and move tires and do all of this in the span of 11 seconds as they change 4 in a pit stop is a highly, highly explosive move. And you're dealing with D1 athletes that maybe didn't make it in their sport or then recruited to be a pit crew or on a pit crew. And so we're working with them and helping them look at things completely different and not just, hey, our guys are in shape. They can bench press and they can squat. And we walked in there and they were wondering why they had a bunch of injuries and nothing that they were doing in the training room or nothing that they were doing in their exercise prescription was dictated towards what they're doing, their sport. So we really started to try and change the way that they look at things and start to build these athletes from the ground up and get them doing some soft tissue mobility, some activation on the muscles that we want to work, some functional movement corrections, and then adding strength and stability. It just sounds, it's a little crazy to me when you have, let's say, a 250-pound jackman, and he's moving a 35-pound jack from one side of the car and back at high speeds, and the basis of your programming is squatting heavier and bench pressing. You have to ask yourself, where does that happen? How does that help us be better on the track? It doesn't. And you wonder why we're breaking down. Well, our training has to coincide with the movements that we're asking. And so really trying to kind of rebuild some of that stuff.
Well, you and I had a chance to talk at the PGA show this year, and you mentioned some of this NASCAR stuff, and I was just fascinated because I had never really thought of the pit crew. And I had heard something about, pit crews work out, and never really thought of them as athletes. But then talking to you, I was like, oh, man, these guys, they have to move extremely fast. They're carrying heavy equipment. They have to be extremely precise. And then you kind of talked about how you went in and talked to the people that were making decisions about who instructs them on the programs and looking at what they were doing compared to what you guys would in the future do. It was pretty neat to then equate that to the golfer and what are the golfers doing, because you see a lot of guys just going in the gym and just kind of running through their regular old routine that they maybe saw in Men's Health or whatever, and you go to your general gym and you'll see these guys doing just the basic movements that they learned maybe in college for whatever sport they may have played. But what you guys do is really specialize in figuring out, okay, what does the golfer need? So explain that a little bit, the difference between just a traditional program and then what you guys tie in when you're working with the golfers and the professional, collegiate, and even just your weekend golfer.
Yeah, absolutely. So we try to, like in our assessment and our testing protocol, we try to take each individual and treat them the same way. Now, knowing that kind of our pros will have a little bit of an extended testing period, let's say, but with everybody, we're looking at, our functional movement screen, we're looking at our TPI screen, we're looking at power testing them to see if we can find any weak links. We're looking at how do they coordinate movement. So once I ask you to be an athlete, can you take in what I'm showing you, the shapes and the positions that myself or another one of our strength coach is showing you, and can you regurgitate those movement patterns? Because if you cannot, you're going to default to what you're showing me here. Meaning if we can't even skip cross motor patterning, I know we're going to have a difficult time cross motor patterning in the golf swing. So we look at, correcting what needs to be corrected. Our chiropractor, everybody that comes in to see me for let's say a golf screen, they're a golfer, they're going to see the whole team in their evaluation. So, I'm a stability and a movement specialist. Our chiropractor is our mobility specialist. So whoever the golfer is, will go in with our doctor and be evaluated on the mobility side. Once that player leaves, we'll really sit down and we'll look at all the information that we took in. Is it a mobility issue? Is it a stability issue? Is there pain? If there's pain, we need to address that first. You need to see one of our therapists. So we really kind of go down, not just on, let's say, a golf fitness or I hear this golf-specific programming. I don't, necessarily know what that means. We take each individual and we look at their physical limitations and why that would lead to certain characteristics. Now let's correct that. Because, if I just get somebody, this is a golf-specific move or where I'm rotating. Okay, but does this person really even know how to rotate? So I like to really start from the ground, and every deficiency, let's start to clean that up. Now, once we've gotten to a certain point, like let's say some of our college players or even some of our pros, we're not going to look at like just a golf kind of terminology or simplify everything. We're looking at what are you actually working on. So we have a swing coach that works with us, and even if you're seeing, we work with a lot of swing coaches in the area, we're going to get direct feedback from those coaches. If we're working on getting to our left side, or if we're working on, let's say, which is something that's really, really common with most of your amateur players, right? We see a lot of early extenders. Okay, what specifically are we doing that's causing that? And then once we clear that up, let's get into the correct movement pattern in the gym where we don't have that white little ball sitting down on the ground that's creating direct feedback, right? So if we're trying to change something in their mechanics and their dynamics, let's do it in the gym. Show me you can do it without hitting a ball. And then let's start to translate it into hitting a ball with your coach and all this kind of stuff. So, but for the golfer, that's where we would start. But outside of the gym, we're working on hydration levels. It's so essential that we have this wheel and that every spoke on that wheel is hit, because everything is very, very important and vital. And on the golf course, like we know, you can only control so much. But off the golf course, we can control a lot more. So how much hydration are we hydrated? How much sleep are we getting? What are we putting in our body? So we have a sports nutritionist that helps us with nutrition. What are our athletes eating? What are we doing for cardio? Are we doing our IP exercises, our dynamic warm-up? How many days are we programming out strength? How many days should I lift under load? How many days should I be working on speed? Are some of our players, and a lot of our players, we had a girl playing on the LPGA Tour this week at the major, and she's going to be Olympic lifting. And she may have a day of Olympic lifting that's written into her program. She's been in our program for a long, long time. So how are we managing that? But we try to look at all these different facets that go into the game and give us an advantage on the golf course.
Well, let me ask you about the LPGA player that you just had. So you said during her week of competition, she's going to be doing some Olympic lifting that week. Again, because she's trained, she's skilled, she knows what to do. But what does her week look like? And I know it's specific for her, but as far as a breakdown of maybe days, just real simplified for the audience, what does her week look like, and why did you program in some of those things?
Yeah, absolutely. So she had really never, besides kind of a college program, let's say, she never really looked at any of the things that we just talked about. So she's one of our hardest workers. We use different things on different days to get her ready for competition. So she has, let's say she's traveling on Sunday. And she gets in Monday, or let's say she gets in Sunday night. We have a specific protocol. So, like our macro, the way that we look at the whole program, right? That's our big view versus our micro. So if we're traveling on a Sunday, we're going to look at the individual goal in there that she's got to break that travel. So what we would have her do is go through all of her personal therapies, all of the things all of our soft tissue rolling, and then we get her to do some cardio just to get her out of that sitting for long periods of time, or that traveling, that stress, all that kind of stuff. Then let's say Tuesday, light workout. She's going to do some core, some body weight stuff. Let's say Wednesday is a soft tissue and cardio day. Thursday, we get into we talk about Olympic lifting, but our volume, the way that we manage our volumes, how much is going to be done on the road versus when we're in an off week is going to change. And that's where we're kind of really trying to manipulate what the nervous system is going to do. So we'd look at some short bouts of high intensity stuff. Friday, we would have a day off. Saturday, depending on if we made the weekend, we're back into some soft tissue, some core stuff, and maybe some light cardio. So we have 2 rest days built in there. We have different days. Now, each player is going to be different based on personality, how much work that they can do, what part of the season are we in. We're in, for us, we're in the beginning portion of the season for the most part, and we're a couple months in, but we still have quite a bit of work going.
That's awesome. I think that gives us a good idea of, why and how you break it down and what are the specific reasons. And it's cool to see that, there's different portions of the week that she's going to go through, and then depending on whether she makes the cut and if she's there on the weekend. So I appreciate you breaking that down. Let's talk a little bit about the JWL Project 360. So there's a couple different facets here that, the pro golfer, the collegiate golfer, and then you've also got some business consultation in there too. So if you could maybe kind of break out a little bit of each of the three, and then I think we want to highlight some of the business stuff too for the fitness professionals that are on the line.
Yeah, so our Project 360 is a consulting company, basically. So let's say our professional player comes to us, and we're going to look at the management of kind of everything that they need to do on the physical side. So you come in and you see our different professionals based on whatever their needs are. They don't have to worry about anything. We're going to take care of that for them. So Project 360 kind of takes care of all of that. They kind of are managed by me in that aspect, and then everything is kind of delegated out through TOPTEAM on what they need. The same thing kind of with our college players as they kind of prepare. That also kind of includes some travel and that kind of thing. So we have college players that play with us, and then they go back to Atlanta. Their parents can kind of bring me in for the weekend, and we'll spend some time on, let's say, throughout the summer that we planned out. I'm going to come down there for 3. They're going to come up here, so we can really keep evolving as a player. So that really includes kind of some travel and some personal dedication outside of the area in Charlotte. Our business consulting, same kind of thing. So you could have, like I touched on before, we presented with Life Fitness in 2014 and 2015. 2013 and 2014 at one of our clubs. So TOPTEAM has satellite locations at different clubs, PPC Piper Glen, Trump National, Golf Club Charlotte. And we do all the fitness management, all the fitness programming at these clubs. So at Trump National, we had some of the highest revenue generating numbers across the world in those years. And what we can do is we look at maximizing what you're doing at your space. Or there are all these very, very talented professionals that know a ton about how to help the golfer, but they're, a little green to how do I make the business aspect work? How do I make this all fit together so it's a win-win for the club, for the golf instructor, and now for the fitness professional? How do we get in that and create this optimized business? So Project 360, whether you're in Orlando or in Virginia and you're wanting to get started, we can help with laying the business model that we've developed over the past 8 years, and help you kind of jumpstart your business, or also come into a club that wants to train the trainers on how to test, to work cohesively with the golf professional and create a good generic and help maximize those numbers and that revenue in that club.
That's awesome. I think that, so many of us fitness professionals, physical therapists, so much of our schooling is geared towards the medical side, or the exercise science side, and many don't have that business background to be able to then take what they love doing, and usually we're the technician portion of it, but to have somebody to go to like yourself and Life Fitness, a huge brand, to be able to give some advice and really kind of, again, that whole mentorship thing that we were talking about, to following a roadmap that somebody has already set out, kind of worked out the bugs, and then being able to do that. Can you give us a little bit for us fitness professionals? Give us a little overview of, kind of a general idea of the business model, or what does a fitness professional want to do? How do they approach a club? And what are some of the ways to kind of scale that a little bit? I know this is a very broad topic, but if you could just give us a few tips.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you kind of how we started. I think if you're going into a golf club and you're a fitness professional, you have to create a relationship with the golf instructor, because if the golf instructor understands, I guess, what you're trying to do and how you're going to do it, that's invaluable. So I created a relationship with the golf instructor first, and I said, hey, and this is kind of when we were starting out. Hey, I would like to donate my time to work with you to show you what I can do for your game. And by donating that time, that was almost invaluable on the marketing side, because that golf instructor sees and knows everybody at that club.
Right.
And they teach a lot of players. So if they can see the reflection of what were the dysfunctions that they had that you can clear up, and if you know what you're talking about, you can make these changes for them and make it successful for them, they will not stop talking about it. And pretty soon they're going to want you at the club, and they're going to want you to start working with the people that they teach, because now you can help them make their job a little easier. So convincing them that you know what you're talking about, and it can be beneficial for them and the different things that they've worked with. So that's how we started. Where we can help you is on the business side. How do you get that contract signed with the club so you have some security? Do you have fitness equipment at the club, or do you just have a room at the club? What kind of things can you offer? What is the cost analysis? How much should you charge? That was one of the biggest things for me. When I went to TPI the first time, I'm like, oh my God, this information is great.
Yeah.
How much do I charge? Right? And they're like, I don't know. How many sessions should I have? Should I have group classes? So what we can do is we can take that bird's eye view of, okay, this is the club that you want to work at. Okay, here's the golf instructor. What's the demographic there? Because different clubs have different demos. You have some clubs that have a lot of juniors. You need a junior program. Do you know how to work with juniors? What kind of programs do we want to implement there that can be beneficial? Or we work at a club where you have, let's say down in Florida, where you have transplants that are only in for half the season or a third of the season. Well, that programming has to be different. And so we can kind of help with that, because that's so important on how much revenue can you generate. It's going to be based on that. And, what's the kickback to the club? Is there a kickback to the instructor? Like, how does that whole generic benefit everybody involved? And so, I want to help with that, because there is a huge market for that. And I think there are very qualified people out there that want to get into this industry. They just haven't put it all together. And so don't let it take, like me, 5 years to figure it all out. And we're still trying to figure it out, but you can come in and jumpstart it. And so I hope that was helpful.
No, that was awesome. So many different intriguing questions that, I think a lot of us haven't thought of, or, don't know how to get the answers or the right people to ask. So hopefully you'll get some phone calls regarding some of the Project 360 here, because I think a lot of the pros that are listening have had those same questions and didn't quite know where to go to get those answers. So they don't have to make the same mistakes that you did, which would be awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, man, to finalize here, I got a couple quick questions that we just kind of rapid fire through. So I'm going to ask you, first of all, I normally ask this at the beginning as of lately. Are you more of a Caddyshack or a Happy Gilmore fan?
Oh, man, I think I got to be honest with you, Jeff. I'm one of the people that's never really seen Caddyshack.
Oh.
So I know. I should have watched it as part of my homework.
You
I
should
know.
have. No, you know what? Did you see that Bill Murray, who is, well, you've never seen Caddyshack, but Bill Murray's one of the main characters in there, and his son has never seen Caddyshack, so you're okay.
I heard that mentioned, and so I guess I don't feel too bad, but so I'm going to go with Happy Gilmore just by default, since I haven't seen Caddyshack there.
Gotcha. Well, you have some homework from 18 Strong then.
There you go.
All right. If you had the opportunity to ride in a cart or just walk 18 holes with anybody, past or present, doesn't even have to be in the golf world, who would it be and why?
Oh, boy. I mean, for me, I think just because of where I was or the time period when I was thinking about getting into this, I think for me it would have to be Tiger, just because he was so influential in getting me to watch golf. And before that, like I said, I played a lot of other sports kind of coming up, and he really made it interesting for me. He took something that I love in the strength and conditioning field and kind of merged it with golf, and so I see him as a real innovator and someone that would be very, very interesting to pick his brain and just to be around that.
Nice. And then last question, what would you say is your mission for 2016? What has you most excited? And then if you have a last piece of advice for the audience, and then we can figure out where to find you. Yeah,
so 2016, we're opening our new facility. We have a medical office right now that's right across from the university, and then, like I touched on, we have several satellite locations at different country clubs around the area. And we're opening our new sport performance facility, which will be doubling, almost tripling in size. So it's going to give us a lot more room for different things and new services. So just like I was talking about, hey, we can help give you guys some ideas on what kind of services to offer. With this new facility, now it's going to allow us to have even more where we at and where we reside most of the time. So that's really, really exciting. We're looking for that to open in July. And then we also have a new protocol that we're working on for a very, very good surgeon in the area that sees a lot of people. And we're working on helping develop a prehab and a rehab protocol for them and to help them as well. And so those things are going to be very, very exciting coming up.
Sounds great. Any last piece of advice for the audience, and then tell them where they can find more about Top Team, Project 360, and where they can find you?
Yeah, my advice is, don't spend too much time trying to reinvent the wheel. There's all kinds of people, like for me, Lance Gill, Jay Glass, Robert Yang, all these people, it's very, very smart people that want to provide their information. So take some of the money that you're earning and invest it in going to learn from them. That information that I got, more so than, the education school-wise, anything like that, if I'm looking at applying it and really getting a return on the growth of my business and my investment, it was going to spend time with these different types of professionals that have done it before, that can consult for you, that can help with you, that can mentor you in the right way. You're really going to take that info and apply it to your business almost immediately. And we know a big part of our business is about generating that revenue. And we can do more cool things. We can see more people. We have more staff. We can help more people reach their goals. So if you want any more of my information or the company's information, you can find us at www.topteamfitnessacademy.com. My Instagram is what I post to for the most part. It's Jason W. Lindsay. TOPTEAM Fitness has an Instagram page at TOPTEAM Fitness, and then on Twitter as well. And then hopefully all of our info will be linked in the bio with my email. Feel free to email me with questions. I try to get back to everybody that sends me an email, and I'll help in any way I can.
Appreciate it, man. I really appreciate your time coming on and sharing all your wisdom. I know that the people out there listening, both the golfers and the fitness professionals, both probably will have a lot of questions for you, so hopefully you're ready to answer some emails. But thanks for coming on again. Really appreciate it. It was great meeting you at the PGA show finally and kind of making the connection, and I'm sure we'll be chatting a lot in the future.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
All right, huge thanks to Jason for coming on the show. If you want any more information on Jason Lindsay, TOPTEAM Fitness, or Project 360, all you got to do is go to 18strong.com/Jason Lindsay, or if you just go in the search bar, type in Jason, his episode will pop right up. You can go there. I'll have all the links to all of his social media and any of the links that we talked about in the show, so you can check that stuff out. Once again, big thanks to our sponsor for the show, Super Speed Golf. If you want to check out the Super Speed Golf Clubs, go to 18strong.com/superspeed and start working on the club head speed, and I guarantee you'll be ripping balls down the fairway by using this stuff. I love it. Jason loves it, and many of the other golf fitness professionals that I know and consult with are really just saying nothing but great things about Super Speed Golf. So once again, thanks for joining us here on the 18 Strong podcast. Train hard, practice smart, play better golf.
Thanks for listening to the 18 Strong podcast at www.18strong.com. And remember, train hard, practice smart, and play better golf.